That's my Masala Dabba. I think everyone should make one. These are cloves. Because I did a deep dive on butter chicken. Welcome back to the channel. And last year, I think it was last year at this time, I did a video on what is called a Masala Dabba, beautiful cooking implement. And they are found in Indian kitchens. And I thought for friends and family that I know love to cook and are foodies, I thought this was the perfect gift to make everyone. Comes with a little spoon. And ta-da, I went and gathered all of the top used herbs, spices from Indian cooking. And I included a wonderful recipe for butter chicken and gave it as a gift. So it was received very well. And I know some of the people really perfected the butter chicken recipe that I also included. Go back and watch the video if you did not see that, because it is a really cool gift for the cooks in your life, or just make yourself one, because I love it. And I too perfected my recipe. In that video, I talked about doing a video on the butter chicken, and here we are a year later. I'm kind of glad I didn't do it I thought I would do it in January, February of this year, because I was able to run through the recipe and kind of make it my own. And to hear the story of the recipe, you'll have to go back and watch the Masala Dabba video, because I did a deep dive on butter chicken. One, my recipe does not include that much butter or cream. For those health conscious folks, this one I'm happy to say that mine doesn't include that. It does include small amounts, and instead of using whole full cream, it's sour cream instead of yogurt. So that's where the cream comes into play. But actually butter chicken, the only time you'll see me doing it is right at the beginning, and I'll put some in the end. Initially when I tried butter chicken, I thought that there was lots of butter in it, and thus the name. Or ghee. Indian cooks' kitchens use a lot of ghee, which is clarified butter. And I actually like the full butter taste, because there is a creamy, velvety texture that it lends to the recipe. Let's get into it. What you'll need is, you'll find that I use these interesting spices. To my surprise, some of these are very common, like this one, it's cardamom, but this is the whole black pod of cardamom ground. It's ground up to a powder. This is cumin, but it's the whole seed instead of being ground up. And this is the garam masala. And this is a combination of garam masala. Every kitchen has their own, and it's usually a combination of cinnamon, bay leaf, cumin. I think you can have cardamom, and actually whole cinnamon sticks are used, and then it's ground to the powder. So this is always, garam masala is always a combination of about 5 to 6 spices, and depending on the cook's kitchen, they may take out the cinnamon because they don't like it and add more cumin. Turmeric, ginger, what's this? This is called Degi Mirch. Yeah, Degi Mirch, and it's a chili powder for curries. But it's what gives the butter chicken such a beautiful color, and also it's quite spicy. These are cloves. That's my Masala Dabba. I think everyone should make one. The thing is, like, even when I was doing the marinade, it's just easy and so fast to put your marinade together with some sour cream. I did put some fresh ginger and fresh garlic. Earlier in the day today, I prepped up and marinated the chicken thighs. it's an hour before my guests arrive. I think people in general, especially if you aren't Indian, people are quite impressed by butter chicken. So this is a good one to keep in your pocket because it is, as long as you have some of the ingredients here, and some of these are, they might not be in their whole form common, but you can certainly get these ground up. There's something about that whole cardamom pod that it's so fragrant, and it's so that you can actually probably tell that my butter chicken is homemade with love. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna tip the angle camera down to just see the pan, but what you should know is that you will need a mixer. Sauteing the onions, so we need an onion, we need some fresh ginger and garlic, and then also I'll be taking some of the spices out of there. So let's start with the saute. I will mix the butter and oil, and I'm going to use avocado oil because of the intense heat it can tolerate. And I am doubling my recipe because I'm having people over and I always cook to have leftovers. So either Saturday is easy or Sunday is easy, depending on the night. So I'm taking about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil and probably 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter. What I will do in the meantime, we're gonna mimic tandoor clay oven. Maybe I'll insert it. In India, they have, in many countries, they have a deep clay oven with wood fire in the base of it. And they cook many of their meals, including the bread. If you've ever seen them put the bread and put it on the side of the clay, they can cook the various types of breads in it. So I'm going to get my metal skewers and I'm going to put the chicken. And then hopefully, I'm hoping, let's see, yeah, I'm gonna straddle these across. It's sizzling. So I'm gonna put all these onions, and it doesn't really matter how you cut them because they are going to be emulsified. That's what's going in the blender. Anyone knows how to get your enamel pans looking like new again without the marks? Let me know in the comments. So the recipe asks for 4 garlic cloves. Because it's going to be blended, it doesn't have to be any certain way, except of course the ginger has to be grated. Cumin, 1, 2. Says 1, the recipe says 1 teaspoon, so I put 2, and it says 2 cardamom, so I'm going to put 4. This is almost on all the skewers, and then we're going to put it in the oven on broil to mimic a tandoor oven. The sauce is about to get its tomatoes. You can use fresh. I'm going to try the canned tomatoes this time. In it goes. And then I am just going to just let this simmer. To mimic the tandoor oven, we have to have this way at the top. The chicken. Now we're going to put this, the butter chicken base, into here. I'm going to move my computer with the recipe, and we're going to emulsify it to a paste. Okay, so I'll just put this in here, pods and all. Let the steam out. Actually, I thought it would be even redder, but that's okay because we can put more red in. Pureed tomatoes and onions, spices back in. And this is important to taste at this point because you may need, depending on your tomatoes, you may need some sugar to offset the acid if your tomatoes are too acidic. So I'll put about a tablespoon for this much. Tomato paste is the thickener. It'll make it thicker than what it is. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon and a half. Again, I'm doubling my recipes. Okay. And this is where we get to grab the Masala Dabba again. So you want to add some more of this to taste. So you should really taste it. Garam masala. And also I'm going to add some salt. And this has got a bit of a smoke, this salt. Put my chicken skewers inside. I think I'm going to dip the juices of the chicken in, because it's not fat, it's the actual juice of the chicken and the spices. So here's the buttered chicken. So I added some more fresh ginger, some tomato paste, salt, and a bit more sugar, because you have to really continue to taste your buttered chicken until it suits your taste. You could make it more spicy. I will add a little bit, so it's just simmering, it's finished cooking the chicken if it needs it, and I'll add a few more dollops of butter right at the end, and that creates a real velvet feel. And I have the accoutrements I have some samosas, some jasmine rice, and some garlic naan. I'm gonna serve it with some fresh cilantro. This in a nice chutney, mango chutney. Yes, so that's my nice meal. I'll take a picture when it's all done. Side. Oops, you're in it. And so that is my busted.